I get asked the question all the time, what is mediation? How does this work? And my short answer is that it's another process. It's another way of getting divorced, right? We've heard of people lawyering up and going to court and having a whole legal battle. We see all the movies where there's divorce legal battles. Mediation is a little different. You still have to resolve all the same issues in the divorce, whether you decide to lawyer up and go to court or you decide to mediate, still have the same issues. The only difference is that you and your partner and a professional, the mediator, will sit in a room together and talk about and have a discussion about all of these different issues and talk until every issue is resolved. So why do you need to do this, or why would you work with a professional mediator? Because the two of you clearly aren't getting along for whatever reason. You no longer want to be in this relationship. And so now you'll work with somebody who will help you have a conversation, facilitate a conversation so that you can reach agreements. Even if you're not agreeing upon things when you're both alone together and you can't work it out, the professional can help you work through all these issues together. Mediation is different from litigation in the sense that you keep all the power. You and your partner are involved with every decision that is made in your divorce. If you decide to go the route of litigation, where you're appearing before a judge, you and your spouse aren't agreeing upon custody or not agreeing upon equitable distribution of assets. So now you need to present these issues to the judge. And I like to look at the judge as a complete stranger. They don't know you or your partner. And now they have to evaluate all these facts. And you're asking them to decide for you what is the best interest of your kid for custody, what is the best interest for you with regard to equitable distribution of your assets. And you're leaving it to them. And you're stuck with whatever outcome and whatever decision that the judge rules in your case, as opposed to mediation, where you stay in control. You and your partner, duke it out in the sessions, not literally, but figuratively, work it out. You duke it out together. You have an opportunity to each of you to state what you want as your outcome. Why is this good that we should do things my way? Why should we do things my way? And the mediator will help facilitate the discussion so that the two of you can reach a final eye-to-eye agreement. Sometimes when people engage in mediation, they come in very optimistic that everything's going to work out. Sometimes you can resolve a lot of the issues, but there might be one or two issues that are just very complicated or really difficult for the two of you to overcome and resolve in mediation. To the extent that mediation can help you and you can resolve some of the issues, but not all, that's great. Get that in writing. Document the agreements that you did reach. And for the issues that remain outstanding, you can still go back to court. You could still go talk to your attorney and try to resolve it outside of court through negotiations with your counsel or in court before a judge. Understand that while you might be participating in a mediation for several hours over the course of several weeks, nothing is final in mediation until you have a written and signed agreement. So while you may have reached certain agreements, you verbally discuss that we're going to agree to this or that in mediation session 1 or session 2, until you have a formal legal document that the two of you sign, all of these things are still moving parts. There are some states that require that anybody going through divorce has to try mediation first. In New York, we do have some programs in certain counties where they may require you to attend 1 or 2 mediation sessions before actually seeing the judge, but it's not a statewide program yet. And so it's not required in New York that you have to try mediation in order to get divorced. Generally speaking, a mediated divorce is less costly than a litigated divorce. Now, least likely because I don't know your situation and exactly what you're dealing with. There may be some circumstances where people go to court and litigate and it's over pretty quickly. That would be a less expensive divorce than the ones that last for many months and even years in court versus mediation. Mediation tends to be less expensive because, again, you're paying for the time with your mediator. You might have a consulting attorney that you might talk to a few times throughout the process, but the process is typically quicker and a lot less expensive than if you separately lawyer up and go to court. Think of it this way. If you and your partner hire a mediator, you're hiring that one professional together. As opposed to if you're going to do a litigated divorce, you're going to have an attorney, your spouse is going to have an attorney. So you got two bills right there that you'll be paying for throughout the divorce process, however long that takes. But if you go the mediation route, you can effectively get it done with one professional. However, it is also advisable that before you sign any legal documentation that you may want to consult with your own separate attorney just to review that document. And of course, even if you're engaging your own separate attorney, that's still a lot less expensive than if you hired your own attorney for an entire divorce proceeding that could take months or years in court. If you have any additional questions about mediation, the process, a litigated divorce, give Sabra Law Group a call. Be happy to have a consultation with you.